There are many tools in Modeler that will allow you to slice up your geometry, and one of the most popular ones is Bandsaw Pro and Bandsaw. So I thought we could take a look at both, see the difference between Bandsaw and Bandsaw Pro, and see how this stuff works. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Texture Wire, and I'm going to zoom in to the face so that we can add some geometry. So I've got this laugh line here, okay, that runs around the nose and the mouth. And if I wanted to add another segment, another slice running through there, well, if I wanted to, I could select two polygons, come over to Select Loop, and then come over to Construct, Connect, and slice right through there. If I wanted to make multiple slices going this way, I would have to deselect, select, select loop, and I'll hit L for connect and add it that way. But I'm just undoing, there's another option, which is Bandsaw. Now let's first take a look at Bandsaw, and then we'll look at Bandsaw Pro. So if I select one poly here and come over to Multiply, Subdivide, More, Bandsaw, I get the Bandsaw options. I can pick which edge to select, and it's really talking about which loop to select. Which band, is it going to select this, or is it going to run this way? So I'm going to pick Auto, and it picks the loop that I wanted, but that was kind of like flipping a coin. Well, what if it decided that it was going to pick this loop? So now what I'm going to do is pick Bandsaw and pick Even, and then I'm going to pick Bandsaw and pick Odd. Okay, not really what I was after. So usually I keep it at, oops, not Bandsaw Pro. Usually I keep it at Auto. And if you really want to help it, I find sometimes selecting a few polys and then going to Bandsaw will help it determine which direction to go in. Now, if you don't have Enable Divide on, Bandsaw becomes Select Loop. It does the exact same thing as Select Loop. It doesn't cut anything. All it does is select the geometry. Okay, so let's go to Bandsaw. With Enable Divide on, picture this as your polygon, and it's going to slice right down the center. Now, if you want, you can click and drag this and decide that you want the cut to be over here, because we're in edit mode. If I add some cuts, I can then edit each cut. If I don't want, say, this cut right here, I can delete and just click on it. So I'm in delete mode, click, edit, come over here. Now if I put this here and this one way over here, the spacing isn't the same, but if I click uniform, I can make uniform spacing, equal spacing between each cut. If I decide to slide this one over here and then I went, oh, I want the exact opposite of this, I can reverse the order. Okay. I can also take this one and mirror it, and it'll mirror it on the over the center line of where the one selected is. I can also clear to get back to default. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a couple cuts and click OK. And so now I got a couple cuts on there. So that's a quick look at Bandsaw. Now Bandsaw, in a lot of ways, has been replaced with Bandsaw Pro, but it does work different. Bandsaw wasn't interactive. Bandsaw Pro is. Some people like it, one way or the other. So I'm just going to select Bandsaw Pro, and immediately, without even opening up the numeric panel, I've got Select Loop. I could just go ahead and commit, and I've selected Loop. Okay, but I have Select Loop for that, so I'm going to go over to Bandsaw Pro, in for numeric, and right now it's kind of the same setup. If I want to enable divide, then I can commit. Now if I undo, and now that I've enabled divide, just by clicking Bandsaw Pro, it does it for me already. It remembers it from the last time I used the tool, so I don't even have to open up the window. A lot of times whenever I'm adding an extra loop, an extra segment, I'm wanting it right down the center, and I wouldn't have to worry about anything. I wouldn't have to open up the numeric panel. So that's enable divide. Now presets, we'll get into presets in just a sec. Direction, this is that auto, odd, and even. so it's the same. Uniform, mirror, reverse, clear, that's the same as over in bandsaw. But instead of clicking and dragging on this, we use the mini slider. But if you notice in OpenGL, it's interactive. I can see it before I commit, which is really handy. I don't have to undo after I do it because I didn't get what I wanted. I can just interactively move this. Okay, that's the edit operation. We've got add and delete, just like over in, let's just add. We've got add and delete, just like over in bandsaw. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clear. Now, one thing that's nice about Bandsaw Pro is for the presets. If I come down to, let's just go custom 10. See how that jumped? It remembered the last time I used it and set it to custom 10. So I'm going to go to custom 1, which is looks like the default setting. See how enable divide's not active? Well, I'm going to make it active. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some cuts like this, and say I position them and I'm really happy with them, and I'm like, man, I like this. I'm going to go ahead and commit. Or actually, I dropped the tool. I'm going to go back and commit, and then I go, no, not really digging it. Undo, undo, and then I'll go back to Bandsaw Pro, go to default settings. Nope, I want to go back to that setting I have. So see, I'm saving custom setups so that I don't have to set them up again when I go back to use it. Okay, so this is just a really quick look at using both Bandsaw and Bandsaw Pro. Bandsaw Pro does everything that Bandsaw does for the most part, except it's interactive. You can save custom profiles of the presets of the cuts. And I think the big key benefit of Bandsaw Pro is you don't have to open up the panel. You can just click the tool and hit enter, and you're fine. And the other one is the interactivity. I mean, being able to see your cuts and know where they're going to be before you commit is kind of a nice setup. So again, quick look at Bandsaw and Bandsaw Pro found under the Multiply tab. So Bandsaw Pro is right on the interface, and Bandsaw is in the More.